You came into our family with nothing. Take your bag and get out. My mom shrieked in front of a full dinner table. My husband stared down at his plate. My sister smirked. No one defended me.
Hi.
My name is Soraya Vale, and that evening, I realized I wasn't part of a family. I was the family's convenience.
Their cook.
Their unpaid babysitter. Their built-in shame dump. I looked around the room, at people I had loved, cooked for, protected, and then at the frayed leather bag they'd packed for me. My mother had actually unzipped it, waving it dramatically. "Oh, wait, is this the same bag you came with 8 years ago?" she mocked. "Maybe you'd like to try it on your head." My father didn't say a word. I stood, walked over to the bag, and smiled. "No," I said gently, "but maybe you would." I picked it up, swung it onto the table with a slam, and whispered something that made her face drain of color. "You're all just guests here. The apartment is mine." The entire room froze. But what none of them knew was that this wasn't the only surprise I had for them. And the second one was already en route. The silence after my announcement was so thick, you could slice it with a knife. My mother blinked twice. My father finally looked up. "My sister?" She laughed, nervously. "Why, you're lying," Mom whispered. "You're just a little housewife." I walked calmly to the bookshelf, pulled out a thin blue file, and placed it in front of her plate. "That's the deed. Transferred to me 6 months ago, when Grandpa passed. I just never mentioned it." Her fingers trembled as she opened it. My sister leaned in, her smile slipping. "You manipulated him," she spat. I turned.
No.
"I visited him when you all abandoned him. I cared. He made a choice." My husband finally found his voice. "Wait, Soraya, we live here too." I didn't even blink. "Correction, you did. Not anymore." My father stood now. "Where are we supposed to go?" "This is our home." I tilted my head. "Funny. You said I came here with nothing, so you should be fine starting from scratch, like I did." Then came a knock. Everyone jumped. I smiled. "That'll be the movers. Here to help you pack." Mom's jaw dropped. "You can't be serious." I stepped aside and opened the door. I've never been more serious in my life. The movers entered with calm efficiency, unfazed by the chaos unraveling in the living room. My father blocked one of them at the hallway. "We're not going anywhere," he barked. The lead mover handed him a clipboard. "Ma'am requested full service. We'll have your things out in under 3 hours. Legal eviction is scheduled if not." "Eviction?" My mother screeched. I stepped in. "Don't act surprised. I gave you all 30 days notice." "You gave us a Christmas card," my sister cried. "Yes," I nodded. "With a letter inside. Dated.
Signed.
Certified. I'm not stupid." She lunged at me, but my husband held her back. "You psycho." "Psycho," I repeated with a laugh. "You stole my savings. Used my name for fake credit cards. Screamed at me daily in my own home. And I stayed silent.
But now?
Now you call me a psycho because I finally spoke louder than a whisper?" Dad looked at me, quiet for the first time. "We raised you. This is how you repay us."
No.
"You raised a puppet. I taught myself how to walk after you cut the strings." Mom's face twisted. "So you're kicking your own family out right before New Year's?" I gave her a long, deadpan stare.
Yes.
"And you should be grateful I didn't call the cops instead." As the movers boxed their furniture and jewelry, my sister made one last plea. "You're doing this because you're bitter," she hissed. "Because he married me and not you." The room went silent. I turned slowly, facing her with the calm of a loaded gun. "You think this is about a man?" I whispered. "No, this is about 3 years of unpaid rent for forged signatures and one miscarriage I had while cleaning your mess." Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. My husband stood beside me, fists clenched. "You pushed her down the stairs, remember? And you laughed. Said she was faking it." Dad interrupted. "You didn't tell us that." "She did," I said, voice steady. "You just didn't listen." You never did. Mom started pacing.
This isn't you. You've changed. You used to be so quiet.
So helpful. Exactly. I cut her off. You liked me better when I was broken. The lawyer arrived at the door, holding a folder. Here are the property transfer confirmations. Effective today, all utilities, taxes, and legal ownership have been secured under Miss Carter. My full name echoed through the hall like a final verdict. I looked at the three of them. I was your doormat. Now I'm your landlord. And with that, I turned away from their stunned faces. The next morning, the neighbors stood frozen as my family dragged suitcases down the driveway. Mom wore oversized sunglasses, but they couldn't hide her shame. Dad refused to make eye contact. My sister? She was red-eyed and bitter, muttering curses under her breath as her heels clicked across the porch tiles one final time. The tenants I had arranged, quiet, respectful, and fully vetted, arrived just as the last suitcase was tossed into the trunk. A young couple with a baby, a mirror of what I once was before the lies, before the betrayal. Wait, my sister hissed, grabbing my wrist. Where are we even supposed to go? I leaned close. There's a motel 3 blocks down. Tell them Elena Carter sent you. They'll give you the no loyalty discount. Her nails dug into her palm. You'll regret this. I smiled. I already regretted letting it get this far. Then I walked away. Later that evening, as the sun dipped behind the trees, I stood on the upstairs balcony. The new tenants were unpacking. A toddler giggled in the garden. Peace, real peace, settled over the house. And just then my phone buzzed. It was a message from my old boss. Elena, are you free to consult next week? Double rate. I exhaled slowly. Finally, it was all beginning. The following week, I walked into the glossy downtown office building wearing the same navy pantsuit my mother once mocked as too ambitious. Only now it felt like armor. Miss Carter, the CEO smiled, shaking my hand. We're thrilled to have you back, on your terms this time. While the executives showed me to my new glass-walled office, I remember the last time I sat here, 2 years ago, when I was forced to resign after my family's interference led to a scandal I didn't deserve. They used my name to fake loan signatures. I covered the losses, and they swore it would never happen again. But it did. Now I was back, not as a desperate employee, but as the outside consultant they couldn't afford to lose. That afternoon, I sent a final registered letter to my parents and sister. Your 30-day grace period is over. Please arrange to retrieve the remaining items stored in the rented garage unit. Any property unclaimed after January 1st will be donated. No threats. No anger. Just a quiet line drawn in permanent ink. That night, I came home to flowers from the tenants, thanking me for the safe space. And for the first time in years, I slept with the door unlocked, heart unguarded, and no footsteps pacing outside my room. New Year's Eve arrived with bitter wind and glittering lights. The city buzzed with celebration, but my phone stayed silent. No Happy New Year texts, no calls from the people who once shared my last name. Until 11:43 p.m. A desperate knock rattled my apartment door. I opened it slowly. My mother stood there, soaked from the snow, holding her heels in her hands. My sister stood behind her, mascara streaked, breath clouding the air. And my father, silent for once, clutched a wrinkled eviction notice. We lost the house, my mother whispered. Your sister's credit cards were in your name. The bank traced everything. They froze all our accounts. I leaned against the doorframe, heart steady. And what do you want from me? She dropped her eyes. We have nowhere to go. My father, red with shame, tried to speak, but I raised a hand. There's a shelter 2 blocks down. I've already made arrangements. It's heated. They'll help. You're really doing this to your own family? My sister spat. I looked her dead in the eyes.
No.
You did this to yourselves. I closed the door. Behind it, my daughter danced in her pajamas, spinning to music. Midnight struck. Fireworks exploded outside. Inside, there was only warmth, laughter, and peace. The next morning, I made tea in silence as sunlight poured through the windows of my apartment, my home, built from sleepless nights, dignity, and refusal to break. There was a single email notification on my phone. It was from my old boss. Saw your latest campaign. Would you be interested in returning as a senior partner? I smiled faintly. That afternoon, I walked my daughter to the park. She skipped ahead, scarf trailing behind her, humming the song we'd danced to at midnight. No shadows trailed us. No guilt. No weight of carrying ungrateful people on my back. Later, I heard that my sister left town. My parents were still couch hopping, blaming everyone but themselves. But I didn't ask for details. I didn't need revenge in flames or shouting matches. I wanted what they never gave me. Peace. And I earned it. That night, I lit a single candle, looked around my quiet living room, and whispered to myself. They thought they were punishing me by leaving me out of their plans. But all they did was set me free.
And now?
Now I sleep with both eyes closed.
And they?
They're still waiting for the next door to open.